Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. It's cold and I hope you're keeping warm, but don't let the fact that it's freezing drive you back into the arms of a narcissistic person. You're going to regret that. And yeah, that's actually what today's vlog is based on. It's the fact that you might take pity on a narcissistic person, and you don't need to let that pity cloud your judgment and maybe blind you to what they are. So this is why you need to be alert in this situation. And let's start by saying that a narcissistic person is, I believe that they are born as normal human beings. They are messed up by either having a faulty gene or having parents who are narcissistic or who have some other kind of imbalanced personality disorders. So at the very base of a narcissistic person, there is going to be this poor, cold, sad, empty soul person who wasn't allowed to maybe develop like a normal person, or maybe they weren't as much a victim in this regards, because there's a source that I found that said narcissistic people are actually that way because of being overhyped by their parents and caregivers from an early age and being made to believe that everything they did was special. They are God's gift to man, essentially. And that's not true. So anyway, when a narcissistic person kind of breaks down or they are hurt beyond what they can take, if you spend a long time with a narcissistic person, sometimes this sad empty person peeks through. Like, you can almost catch a glimpse of them, but it's like a magic trick. You'll think you've seen a human side to the narcissistic person. And the biggest issue is that you might never know if each time you see this person it's the truth, or if they are just showing you something that they've learned gets a reaction out of you. So be careful with it. And anyway, don't use this as the reason to stick with a narcissistic person. You need your sanity and your mental well-being more than you need to stay and fix cold people. That's the job of parents and caregivers and therapists. The rest of us need to work our regular jobs, and so I'm a strong believer in, if you're not getting paid for it, just leave it be. So yeah, the narcissistic person might show through every now and then, and you'll see this person who almost feels, sounds, looks human. And in my experience, this happened when they were hurt by a superior that they couldn't get to, or people who were in a position of power over this narcissistic person. So try as they may, they couldn't reach them, and this person did or said something that hurt them to the core. And while the normal reaction of a narcissistic person to something like that is that they're going to come and hurt you, their partner or their child or whoever you are in this relationship with a narcissistic person, they're going to hurt you so that you can kind of feel what they feel, and they will put you in the position that they believe they should be in, so that they can just be more smug about themselves. Honestly, most of what narcissistic people do should qualify as just straight madness. But anyway, for whatever reason, you need to understand that narcissistic people are people at the very base of their being, but they are broken. They are so broken. They are broken to a point that they can't see their brokenness. And they are like vampires, essentially. They aren't allowed to see the reflection. They don't allow themselves to see the reflection because it's an affront. It's like it's an insult to, it's the worst degree of insult that you can give to a narcissistic person, to show them who they really are, So they will try to evade this by any means necessary. So you might be familiar with this if you've been around a narcissistic person. Each time you try to hold up a flaw to their face and tell them, hey, look, this is a flaw that you need to work on fixing, they're going to turn around and start telling you, hey, but you have all these flaws as well. Hey, I'm like this because of this. They will not take accountability. They will not accept that they have a flaw. And if they do accept that they have one, it's because they have seen that they can use this acceptance to get something out of it, like maybe punish you or set you up for another narcissistic roller coaster trip where they take you high and then they bring you back down, like they're playing with a yo-yo. So narcissistic people are just, honestly, they're a headache to think about. But we have to think about them and we have to talk about them so that we can spread as much information about them in the world, so that fewer innocent people can fall in the hands of narcissistic characters. And yeah, so I was saying narcissistic people are like vampires. They don't want to come to terms with what they are, and if they know that you've seen this person that they are, they will try to manipulate you into forgetting about it, or they will use that to get more. They will use it as effects, basically, to get effects and stuff like that. I laugh, but it's not funny. So yeah, a narcissistic person is going to avoid facing what they are, who they are, at every kind of level. If they realize that this sadness, this empty version of which is their true self, if they realize that this person has kind of peeked out into the world, they will do everything. If it wasn't the intention to do this, they will do everything in their power to just stifle this person and this image, their true self, to distort the view and confuse things, make people believe that no, you didn't see that, it didn't happen. And they are essentially holding themselves prisoners. So that's kind of why you can't save a narcissist, because you're trying to battle them for themselves. They don't want to let their true selves into the world, and if they can't let their true selves into the world, it's impossible to help them in any way, because, well, the help is going to be hijacked by this false image, this representation of the narcissistic person, and they're just going to convolute it, turning it into something nasty and miserable, which will be you wasting your efforts, for one, and for two, you might have gotten deeper into a rabbit hole that they're digging for you, which you don't want to do. So yeah, it's really a pity that narcissistic people will rather, they do everything to try and kill this true self, because they detest it so much. They hate themselves at a core level that even if there were like 5 suns shining in the sky, they couldn't reach that depth to which a narcissistic person hates their true selves. So just remember that narcissistic people are prisoners of their own devices. They know that they are messed up, but they do not want to be fixed. They will rather just project more anger and darkness into the world, which is why you need to leave them as soon as you discover that they're narcissistic. And what else? I wish I'd written these things down. Okay, I think this brings us to the end of this video. Clearly I've started to, I need to go to bed. And stay safe. Just leave narcissists alone. You can't fix them because they don't want fixing. I promise I had something else. Let me check if I remember it. So apparently don't have anything else to add to this video, but I could give an analogy to better understand how a narcissistic person is in control, and you just need to let Jesus take the wheel at this point. I'm sure that you've all watched a movie where the where there was the main character, let's just say he or she was in some kind of situation where a bug or an alien or just something got into their brain, and or a demon if you're a supernatural fan. They got into their brain and they're controlling they're like at the seat of power, so they control the actions, the words, and everything that this person does. Every now and then the real person who is suppressed underneath, they might get a chance to like come out to the surface. Get Out is a good it's a good example of a movie where that happened. And also the Twilight Zone, this someone, John Guillermo's Cabinet of Curiosities. There's an episode where some alien invades the earth and it starts getting into people and controlling them, so it changes them. And anyway, so yeah, this narcissistic demon is what's in control of a narcissistic person's mind, their body, and their soul. So this poor suppressed real being is going to try and rise to the surface every now and then in like a cry for help. But sad as it may be, honestly, just remember that you can't save everyone. And if you really, really, really want to help a narcissistic person, maybe find a way to get them to a therapist or a psychologist, and maybe they might get open to the idea of receiving the help that they need. Because unless you're, honestly, even if you're a psychologist, I think you're going to need a team behind you to help a narcissistic person. So thanks for staying to the end of my video, my strange ramblings. I hope they made sense to you. And if you have anything to add, I would love to hear about it in the comments. If you feel like my analogy is out of place, let me know. If you can think of other movies where things like what I've described happen, let me know about them in the comments as well, because for some reason that's a genre that I kind of enjoy watching, as much as I almost always can tell how the plot is going to go. So yeah, stay safe, stay happy, stay bright, and just keep your soul pure and free of the ravages that a narcissistic person is going to do on it, to it. And yeah, stay well until my next video. Love you all and goodbye.